Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the final set of double feature retro reviews for 2024. It is December, this month's set is Christmas comedy month, and I'm going to kick things off with a movie that's celebrating its 35th anniversary. This is my retro review for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which came out in 1989, directed by Jeremiah S. Chechik, and written by John Hughes. This is actually based off a short story that John Hughes wrote for National Lampoon called Christmas 59, and the plot involves the Griswold family, the family from the first two Vacation movies, as Clark, played again by Chevy Chase, tries to put together the ultimate family Christmas, involving his own family, his in-laws, his extended family, and when you try to put together the ultimate family Christmas, especially on your own, things don't always work out as planned. Before I continue, if you like this review and you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel and also hit the bell button to get a notification when a new video comes out. Anyway, let's continue with the review. I have to get this off my chest right now. This is the only movie in the Vacation series that I have watched. I never saw National Lampoon's Vacation, which I probably should because it involves the Griswolds traveling across the country to go to an amusement park, and being a theme park guy, I should probably give it a shot. I heard European Vacation is not all that good, and everything else everyone kind of disregards. At least that's me as an outsider. There's also a small part in the back of my brain telling me you shouldn't be reviewing this until you've seen the other movies. But you know what? I'm here, it's the Christmas holiday season, and this film has certainly earned its place as a Christmas classic in the past 35 years that it's been released. I actually saw this movie for the first time 5 years ago on its 30th anniversary in a movie theater, and I really fell in love with it. This movie may actually be the perfect representation of what it's like to put together the ultimate family Christmas. I certainly did flash back to my childhood where I would spend Christmas in San Antonio with a lot of my family, and we would travel from relative to spend time with them. This one's a little more self-contained because all the relatives come to the Griswold family, but it still captures that feeling and just the overall stress that comes with putting all this together and making sure it goes perfectly. Chevy Chase is great in this movie as Clark Griswold. I mean, this was back during Chevy Chase's heyday, and just the amount of scenarios that he gets himself into are really funny. Like the opening of the movie, when they're going out to find the Christmas tree, there's a driver that cuts him off, and Clark Griswold basically goes, "Hey kids, look over there, a reindeer." And then there's the moment that follows immediately afterwards where he's not paying attention to the road and he finds himself underneath the trailer of a truck, and they're just like, "Clark, how did we get into this scenario?" It's such an iconic moment that the Fast and the Furious even ripped off that moment in the first movie. It's very brief, but there's a point where a car drives underneath a tanker truck, and I went, "Oh, that's Christmas Vacation right there." There's also that scene at the shopping mall where Clark is talking to one of the employees who is wearing a rather revealing outfit, and his mind is nowhere else but focusing on her chest, as he says stuff like, "Yeah, it's pretty nipply out there. I mean, nippy out there." And the best moment of that whole scene is that because he's such in a trance over her outfit, when the employee says, "Is there something you would like for me to take out?" he just goes, It's one of the most obvious and cliched scenes in comedy you could even think of, but because Chevy Chase is so good in this role, you just go with it and he sells it on being funny. But outside of Clark Griswold being really funny, he's also very relatable because there are many scenes where he gets chewed out by his in-laws, his parents are very supportive, and then there's some distant relatives that visit him that he really doesn't want anything to do with. For example, Cousin Eddie, played by Randy Quaid, who, you know, nowadays I don't know which of the two Quaid brothers is the more insane, but back before the insanity began, Randy Quaid was actually pretty funny in this movie. Just that really backwards trailer trash neighbor that doesn't really think a whole lot, but he does have good intentions at the end of the day. I found him to be really funny in this movie, despite my current feelings about him and Dennis. And on top of the stress of dealing with relatives that either don't like you or you don't like them, there's the stress of making sure the place doesn't fall apart, making sure the cats don't get burned up and die, making sure the Christmas dinner goes well, and just making sure those damn lights on the house work. And it all results in this massive explosion that Clark has on his whole family, where he's trying to put together the perfect family Christmas. Nothing can go right, but the final straw, the thing that really pushes him over the edge, was the fact that his boss skimped out on a Christmas bonus. He was supposed to get a huge sum of money because he put a down payment on a pool, and what does he get? A membership card. Which rings especially true today when big corporations and CEOs are trying to do everything possible to save money and screw over the working class. Although the movie does dip a little bit into fantasy every now and then. There are so many scenarios in this movie that are just so absurd, but I found them to be really funny. All but two scenarios. The first is when Clark goes sledding on one of those giant saucer sleds, but the way he's traveling down the mountain, it's like warp speed, and it's just so poorly shot together that I can't really tell the geography of where he is, and I just couldn't really laugh. And then the end of the movie when the SWAT team bursts into Clark's house to try to rescue his boss, that was a little too over the top for me. But at the same time, I could actually believe that scenario more than his boss suddenly having a change of heart and giving Clark that bonus. The rest of the cast is really good. I mentioned Chevy Chase and I mentioned Randy Quaid, but Beverly D'Angelo as Ellen Griswold is good. Juliette Lewis and Johnny Galecki as the kids, Audrey and Rusty, are fun. And then you have Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Nicholas Guest as the Chesters, the neighbors who are so unfortunate to be living next to the Griswolds that they have to suffer through all of their shenanigans. They're really funny, especially Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who's just like, I can't take any more of this bullshit. There are so many funny moments in this movie, whether it's slapstick, the dialogue, or just individual scenes. This movie is really funny, really well made, and gives me that really good Christmas feeling that everything could go wrong during this time of the year. But as long as your family remembers it and has a good time, then I think that's all that matters. So I would definitely say Christmas Vacation is worth seeing in your lifetime. This movie is honestly a better Christmas classic than something like A Christmas Story, which I'd like to review at some point in the future. But I just found this to be a little more relatable and more memorable than A Christmas Story. And it also gave us one of the greatest Christmas credit sequences at the beginning of the movie. It's really funny, really creative. This is just a really great Christmas movie that if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out for yourself. And there you go, that's my review for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I hope you enjoyed it. Now check back in 2 weeks, which will actually be Christmas Day, as I review one of the more infamous Christmas movies out there, Jingle All the Way. This has been regarded as one of the worst Christmas movies ever made, but over the past couple of years, it's kind of bounced back and people have reevaluated the film. But I never saw it until now. So check back on Christmas Day for my review for Jingle All the Way. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel. And I also want to give a special thank you to my YouTube members right over here. If you want to help support the channel even more, you can do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. Not only do you get early access to all of my videos, including this one, but you get exclusive content that nobody else gets, including my top 5 favorite series, and starting next year, the ability to both nominate and vote for retro movie reviews every month. So I hope you consider joining as a YouTube member in the future. And until next time, I want to know what you guys think about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Whatever they may be, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can do so via these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.